Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we have a very special episode for you, and that is Sarah Ingham. Will she or won't she be operated on? Who will operate on her? Will it be Chris? Will it be the doctor or the consultant or the junior consultant? Somebody needs to take a look at what's down below in Sarah's little area there, and I for one am not the one to do it, so I'll hand it over to yourselves and mingle amongst yourselves and decide who will be the one to touch it.
Good morning, iFarm. You're joining us this morning on our way to a hospital appointment. I'm not going to go into big major detail about that appointment right now because I did a big chat on it yesterday. I explained everything. I explained why I'm going. I explained my worries and fears and blah blah blah. So I'm not going to detail it all again today. If you want to know what I'm going in for, then go back and watch yesterday's vlog. How are you feeling, babe?
I'm nervous for this one just because I don't know. I'm just nervous for you, basically.
I'm nervous. I am nervous for the appointment, but the only thing I'm nervous for, the only thing I'm actually nervous for, I'm not usually a nervous person. I don't usually get nervous about appointments. There's been so many appointments in the past where Chris has been like, "Are you really nervous?" I feel sick or nervous. I'm like, "No, I'm not nervous at all." But the only reason I'm slightly nervous for this appointment, in all honesty, is that I feel like I'm worried that I'm going to leave the appointment without a definitive answer, and that makes me nervous because I'm almost full term and I don't feel like I can do that. I feel like I need a plan in place, whatever that plan may be, and I need to be comfortable knowing that there's a plan set out, or that I'm completely reassured either way. I don't want to leave without I don't want to be brushed off, and I'm not saying I'm going to be brushed off, but from what we've read up online, these cases are very, very, very rare. Like cysts and things like that are very common, but the way mine presents is extremely rare.
Of course, Sarah, because you are one rare breed, I'm sure you have the most rare condition in the world. Nobody else has had your condition. It's the most special and the most rare and the most unique because you are such a unique being. Sarah, nobody else has had her condition. We should name it.
So I feel like no one's going to be able to give me an answer. Do you know what I mean? I feel like no one's going to be able to say, no one's going to want to make the call of anything. They're all just going to be like, "Oh, I'm not too sure."
I think they will. They're going to go over cautious, I'm pretty sure. I think by the end of today we're going to end up with a C-section appointment. I think. But I mean, I hope for you that. Well, I don't know if I hope for you that it's not the case, but it depends.
I will deliver this baby in the safest way possible. I will do what I need to do, but I don't want to have a C-section.
Look at that face. Look at that face on it. She really doesn't want a C-section, does she? No, I'm not having a go at her for not wanting or whatever it is, but she really, her eyes defy her.
Like, I don't know how I'll react if they say you're going to have a C-section. But at the same time, like, I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about if they say, yeah, you're okay to deliver naturally with that. That also still puts fear in me because I'm like, how? How can that not pose a risk, you know?
See, I've been thinking about this too, Sarah. You know, how exactly did you become pregnant in the first place? You know, because there's a certain process that needs to go through, and you've got this massive cyst type thing in the middle, in the way, you said, so a baby can't come out. Likewise, nothing else can go in, if you see what I'm saying. Did Chris just sort of flick it to one side?
So I don't know. I'm just hoping that the best case scenario would be that they'd be able to completely treat it. That would be the best case scenario, and that's what I'm hoping for today. That I don't know what they do, but somehow they can safely treat it so that it goes.
I don't think that. I think they're too close to term now. But
you think I'm too close?
They won't risk it because you could go into labour at any point now.
I know they won't do surgery. I've already been told they won't do surgery until I've delivered. But I don't know. Maybe there's something else they can do. I don't know.
I reckon they should burn it. Burn it off. Blowtorch. It might hurt a little bit, you know, given the sensitive nature of the area that it's in, but still, you know, what are you going to do? You can either give birth or you can't give birth. If you want to give birth, you need to get rid of it. Burn it.
But from my point of view, that's the best outcome that can happen today. If they can treat it and then it's not posing a risk at all because it's been treated, it's tiny again like it was before, and there's no risk, that would be my favourite outcome today. But what I'm actually hoping for is just a definitive outcome.
I'm just shocked that you've used the word definitive in a sentence, and correctly as well. You know, that's a best outcome that I've had today anyway.
And not coming away feeling like I've not had my answers answered, or I don't have a plan in place. Because the end of pregnancy is scary enough, you know, with all the uncertainties and things like that, and I just don't feel like I want this as another uncertainty on my head. So we're on our way there now, and we probably won't film anything whilst we're in there. Can't film really in hospitals anyway, but I don't want to be concentrating on filming. I obviously need to be concentrating on the billion questions that I've got inside my head.
So you acknowledge that you shouldn't be filming anyway, but that's not the real reason you're not going to be filming, is it? Because you'd film anyway if you had half a chance. You just you want to be able to concentrate on things, and you can't concentrate on two things at once. Don't worry, neither can I. You know, I can only concentrate on you, Sarah. You know, you. So yeah, but if you had the chance, you would definitely film whether you were allowed to or not. You know it.
But we'll update all of you guys as soon as we leave. Wish me luck. Guys, we've just come round the corner to Starbucks. It's a bit loud in here. The music's on and things, and the lighting's terrible, but
okay, no, I'm sorry, Sarah, you're going to have to say something, alright? Okay, do they not know that the Ingham Family TV show is filming on location as they speak? Get them to turn the music down to a reasonable level and make the lighting, you know, they need a lighting, but, you know, sort it out, you know? They must know.
We've come round here to just get a coffee and just go over everything that we've just been told. I'm going to do a proper detailed like chat probably when we get home, or maybe even when we get back to the car, but I don't want this whole vlog to just be like car footage. Basically, I don't even know. Basically with no answers. We do. It's basically my choice. But there's risks and complications and things to consider with both options. I basically, just long story short, I basically have an elective caesarean section, or I have a procedure done whilst I'm in labour. Is it scalpel he said he'd use? Where they'd have to use a scalpel and drain it, but they can't do that until I'm in labour. And then it will hopefully shrink it, and then the baby can come out naturally. So, whilst I'm glad that I do still have the option of both, it sent my head into a wild spin, because now I'm thinking I'd rather have just been told what I have to do.
Well, fortunately, your iFam are on hand to give you a helping hand on this one, Sarah, because why else would you be putting it on a vlog? And this particular one I took a shine to. I thought it was brilliant advice. So this kindly iFam said, I've had one vaginal and one C-section delivery. By far the C-section was the best, and I actually recovered more quickly compared to the vaginal birth. Everyone was so lovely, and I felt really taken care of from beginning to end. At the end of the day though, it's your choice. Go with whatever you feel most comfortable with. Hope you are able to make the right decision for you. Now, I've got to say, that's very open and honest of you, given that you are talking in a group here amongst children, actual children. I think that Sarah has opened a can of worms here, where she is talking to her iFam for advice, but forgetting that there's kids in the comments, and there's also kids reading other people's experiences. I just think that there's possibly a time and a place not to be talking about this with children, and I think this is probably it. Okay, so but But One Eye Fam came back with a response, and I think it was indicative of exactly how we all feel about this situation. The only problem is that they have trips planned and she has 5 other children. Exactly, 100%, I hear you. That is spot on how Sarah is probably feeling about the possibility of having a C-section. It's inconvenient, right? They've got trips planned, they want to go to Europe, they've got to go to Scandinavia soon, they've got the van back and they've got this trip planned to Scandinavia. They can't be having time off because Sarah's had a bloody C-section. My God, no. Hell no, as Chris once famously said. Hell no. So, what is the answer? Sarah, please do tell us.
Rather than not have a clue what to do for the rest. I'll explain more about my reasonings on both, why it would probably be better and why I don't want to do it. When we get back to the car, we're going to have this coffee now. I've got a week basically. Do you know what's so crazy? Whilst I was in, he wasn't even going to examine the cyst. He wasn't even interested in looking at it, so he basically made this diagnosis just on what I said, which I found a bit strange, because then when he actually looked at it, he seemed shocked at what he found, didn't he? He seemed kind of like, oh, he actually went, oh, like that. It's 3.5 centimeters in size. But then when it was only like a 2-second exam, and then he was like, yeah, well, either C-section or we'll drain it during labour. They're the only options. He basically seemed more like, he kept repeating like what needs to happen after delivery.
Yeah, no people skills, what's the problem?
He kept, I think he was just more, I think he thought I was worried just about the having a cyst. And he kept repeating like, after delivery we need to, 6 weeks postpartum we need to do an MRI, we need to determine what this actually is.
Oh dear. Okay, so yeah, that's come as a bit of a shock to you though, isn't it? I mean, 6 weeks postpartum, you need to go and have an MRI to check what's wrong with your down thingies, right? So, you know, what are you going to do when you're away? Are you going to come back? Are you going to fit your holidays around it? Or are you going to fit the hospital around the holidays? So much excitement. I can't wait to see what happens.
Where it's coming from, what it's connected to, and then we need to do a surgery to get rid of it. And I kept saying, I understand that, but right now I need to know what my safest option for delivering this baby is. And I kept saying, whichever you want, cesarean or we'll do a procedure during labour, whichever you want, I don't mind, you choose.
You know why you're saying that, don't you, Sarah? You know why you're saying that? It's quite straightforward. Oh, so excited. I'm just so enthralled that I know something that Sarah doesn't. It's because it's not a big deal, all right? Whatever it is the matter with it, it's not a big deal. He's saying it's okay, do this or this. It's either way. He doesn't mind. One or the other is not worse than the other, if you see what I'm saying, in terms of medically. So it's up to you, Sarah. He's saying it's up to you. It's unbelievable that he'd give you that choice, because if only he knew how your brain works, you know, he wouldn't leave it up to you.
That's exactly what he was doing. That's exactly what he did. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I kind of feel like I need to and what's crazy is what I was just about to say is, when I was in there, I was like, do you have any questions, or is there anything you want to ask? And I was like, no. And now I've come out, I've got like a billion questions, and I feel like I need to speak to someone else.
Anyway, because it was too dismissive. It was just like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't rude or nasty or anything like that, but he was just constantly kept repeating what needs to happen after delivery, which we knew anyway. And then with regards to the delivery, he was just like, it's fine, just whichever you want. You want to say cesarean section? I can do that for you. You want to try and have a procedure during labour? That's fine, I can do that. Whichever you want, you just tell me, which one do you want?
Well, he knows what he's talking about, right, Sarah? And he knows that whatever you're cooking up in your head is just a load of nonsense. He's maybe watched the good old cancer toenail vlog of yours and thought, oh, God, not this woman, no. Hell no. So, yeah, no, it's nothing, Sarah. It's a nothing, right? We're not going through this all again. You're building yourself up into a frenzy. We're not going to go through that tunnel again. Remember what happened last time? You know, you got yourself worked up and then it turned out to be a little bit of dirt underneath your toenail. Yeah, no, it's not that again, Sarah.
It was kind of like that, and I was like, well, I don't know. I kind of feel like you need to be telling me which one I need to do. But now I feel like I've got a growth scan next week, so I'm seeing my usual consult. Oh my god, I can't talk. My usual consultant next week, and I need to let them know what I want to do by then. But I feel like I can't make the decision because now I've got too many questions. I need to speak to someone else before I can make that decision. So I'm going to try and speak to my midwife. But yeah, those are the options basically. It's up to me. Elective cesarean, or I have it scalpelled basically whilst I'm in labour.
Okay, so I'm going to give you some advice, Sarah. You may not like it, so take it or leave it. And I am a man, so I'm never going to have to go through this, right? So maybe I'm not best placed to give the advice, but I would say, right, have a natural birth. Well, you know, a vaginal birth, you know, that thing, right? So then when, right, take all your meds, the brain meds, pain relief, right? Take all that crap, right? And then you won't feel a thing. When you're in birth, or you're having birth, they'll just like burn it off and whatnot, right? It'll go, and then you'll give birth. You won't feel anything, so that'll be great. So do that. I think that would be a good idea. Comment down below if you think that I should be a doctor and I know what I'm talking about. Yeah, comment down below, let me know. Good idea or bad idea?
It's time for coffee.
Sometimes you just get a good chai. That was a good chai.
Look at him, look at him. He's so proud. He's had the best chai latte of his entire existence. Haven't you, Chris? Sarah's gonna have birth. Sarah's gonna give birth even. And you are proud of the chai that you knew that you were. Or something, yeah. He loves this chai latte, to be fair, doesn't he? The best coffee on the block. Am I right, Chris? Am I right? The best coffee?
It was.
Ready to hit the streets and get back home to the chaos that is awaiting us with the girls and Jace.
And we're back home.
Not for you.
Back home. Mila's been a little renegade, bless her.
Yeah,
They've had fun. They've been colouring. Yeah.
I really want to go outside to get the monsters to still outside.
Go on then, go get them. They were playing outside literally all night last night. It was such a lovely evening. They got out Jace's his electric police car. That's the one, Jace. And also his little bike, three-wheeler light electric bike that we got him a few years ago. And they were just driving up and down the garden in the police car.
Motorbike.
Yeah. It's not a zoomy one, Jace. We need to charge it up properly anyway. But they had a great time in the police car and it was so cute watching them just travel around the garden, going up and down. They had an absolutely great time. Isabel's just been going through her some psychology work and she just said, can I show it on camera? Because she's very proud of it. She should be. It's really good. She's just doing this in her free time, just analysing.
Like additional work anyway. It ties into all the stuff I'm doing. So
yeah, it ties into all the stuff that she's doing anyway.
Yeah, it ties into all the stuff that she's not doing. It's great, isn't it, that she can do whatever she wants, and it just ties into all those courses that she said she was going to do but never actually got around to doing, because why would she? You know, you can pretend all that you like that she's doing something, and I don't even know why, because she doesn't have to. And secondly, she's already told her lovely, I found, that she's not doing anything. She's actually said that to her. So if you are now trying to say that in fact she is doing something and we didn't know, and that is your big secret, because that is what you're trying to pull here, right? That means that she's lied. Blatantly lied to the people who pay her wages, right? So, you know, I feel that's quite wrong. Personally, I feel like that's wrong. I wouldn't lie to the people on this channel. I don't lie at all to people watching me, ever. Because why? Firstly, there's no point, isn't there? It's just pathetic. But secondly, you know, people are watching you for, you know, your honesty, and you try and have this back and forth to say, oh, she's doing college work, she's not doing college work, she's doing college work, she's doing a bit on the side, and you know, and all that. It doesn't wash with me, and I really don't care, right? I really don't care. She doesn't have to do work. She actually doesn't. She's 18. She doesn't have to do work. You don't have to prove it to us that she's doing work. I really don't care if she is or is not doing work, you know. But she's got an empire anyway to run, so, you know, I don't know where she has the time to do her college.
But we've got a new psychology book. You probably know if you watch the vlogs. And she's just done loads of research and analysing and things like that. You definitely want to show it?
Yeah.
You'll be able to see it.
Really, it's really satisfying to do it.
Okay, goodbye.
There's just another point that I'd like to make actually about this. She's supposedly doing this on the side, and it's not an actual course or a qualification, and it's not being officially moderated or run or marked or anything like that, right? So I would say, what's the point? Okay, there's no point in learning things. There's always a point to learning things, right? But in terms of if it's going to add something to her courses, if she is indeed taking courses, it's not going to mean anything if she goes on to do something else and they say, well, what else have you got? Oh, I've done psychology. Well, where's the qualification? Well, I just did it in my spare time. Well, that doesn't matter, does it? That's what they'll say to you. It won't mean anything in terms of trying to get into a college or a university or a job or anything like that, as if you can't show that you have actually taken the course. You can show knowledge, you know, things like that. Knowledge is good. You know, I'm not berating doing extracurricular work, but I'm just saying in terms of meaning anything, it doesn't.
So there's a few boring writing pages, but then I was doing like the brain and dissecting it.
I quite like your picture of your brain there, is it?
Do you know what? That was so... I didn't even trace
really
that. I didn't even trace that. I was just so proud of myself.
Well, she's so proud of herself for being able to draw her brain. You know, that's part of the coursework, I'm sure. I'm sure it is. One thing I would have to ask, though, Isabel, have you got to the narcissism point of the course? Has it cropped up yet? How to, you know, how to identify a narcissist? Is that, you know, part of your course? Would you be able to identify one if one presented themselves to you right in front of your nose? Would that be something you could do?
Now, so I thought I'd just really quickly do a little roundup on everything that was said today, what my worries are, what my concerns are, what I'm feeling, and then I'm going to kind of put it to bed, so to speak, because I feel like it's all I've spoke about on the vlogs in like the last 2 days, but it's definitely all I've thought about for like the last week, if not longer. And I kind of feel like I just need a break from it, if that makes sense. I mean, me and Chris are going to have a little... We've got given this booklet today about caesarean sections, so we're going to go through that and have a read of that together while the kids are outside playing. But basically, I felt today like the consultant was very adamant on speaking about what we need to do to resolve the cyst, rather than understand that that's not what I was there for. And I did explain that that's what I was there for, but I feel like he was just kind of, this is what we need to do. I need an MRI to determine that it's actually a cyst and not like some sort of hernia / prolapse. And I also need an MRI to determine where it's coming from and what it's attached to. So I don't see how, coming away from it and thinking about it, it makes me feel uneasy that he basically made a diagnosis on how they can treat it during my labour without him even examining it. Like, he was happy to just not even examine it today and just take my word that it was a cyst, when in actual fact, I should have been more clear and said I've got a mass rather than saying I've got a cyst.
Well, Sarah, I'm not being funny, but sometimes you have this certain way about you, like a forceful nature, quite a squint in the eye, like, you know, you want to beat somebody up. So maybe that was it, okay? Maybe he felt threatened, maybe you were a strong, independent woman, and you came for him quite forcefully, and he thought, he kind of froze, maybe he froze, and he just thought, I better tell this woman what she wants to hear, you know, get her out with the office sort of thing. Maybe. Not saying that happened, but maybe. I would be afraid coming face to face with you, honestly.
Because it's not actually even been diagnosed as a cyst yet. That's why I need the MRI. I need an MRI to determine what it is, what it's attached to.
Well, I gotta say, Sarah, I'm a bit disappointed and a little bit confused here, because I spent the best part of 2 days listening to you blether on about it being a cyst and it being this and it being a grape size cyst, and now you're turning that around and saying you're not even sure, it's not been diagnosed, and you're not sure, it might be a cyst, it might not be a cyst, who knows, but you need to know. And I feel deceived. Definitely deceived. I don't know about you guys, but I feel deceived.
How they can safely remove it. And I feel like me going in there saying I've got a cyst, he's kind of categorised that with it just being a general cyst, when it's not like that. It's actually really rare what I've got. So the fact that he come up with a solution of, we'll just drain it during labour, without even looking or seeing what we're dealing with.
I'm sorry, Sarah, I can't get this out of my mind. I feel like I need to take over here a little bit. I really, really want to burn it off. Burn it.
Makes me feel a bit uneasy looking back on it. Caesarean section would never be my first option. I've been very vocal about that. But at the same time, I can't imagine. Let me see if I can set you up somewhere, because my arm's actually breaking right now. Jeez, he's driving up the garden on his bike in his police car. I can't imagine going into labour and having to deal with having a procedure done at the same time. Okay, so that's my first worry. So going into my labours are quite quick. Mila's was less than 4 hours from me being asleep in bed to her being in my arms in hospital. They're very quick. They're also quite back-to-back contractions, so I don't get like the big break in between usually. Once it kicks in, that's it. And I can't imagine having to just lay there and have a procedure and lay very still whilst they do a procedure during what's probably going to be the most painful thing in my whole life.
Drugs, Sarah. Get the drugs, okay? Stock up, get filled up, and let them work away. Chisel and burn.
I can't imagine that. I'm worried that there's not going to be anyone available to even do it. Like, they can't guarantee it. You know, doctors are busy, consultants are busy. You don't know what anaesthetists are busy. I always get that word wrong, anaesthetists. You know what I mean. Are very busy. You don't know what emergencies are happening on the day, so whether they can come and actually do it for you. So I worry about that. I worry that the doctor, this is actually what the midwife said when she was speaking to me after the consultant today left, what if it can't be drained? Like, I tried to have it drained in June and they did get like a tiny bit out, but they couldn't get any further out and it didn't really shrink it. So what if the same happens again? What if the doctor says, oh, that's bigger than I expected, and I end up having an emergency caesarean section, which I absolutely, definitely, obviously don't want. Chris is outside with the girls and Jace, if you can hear Mila crying, because she's getting wind blasted right now and clearly not loving it, bless her. I also worry about, I don't know, risk of infection, which when I said that today, the doctor basically answered, and I'm not bagging him out at all, but when I said, for example, when I said, what about risk of infection, like if it's infected and they're draining it, so then it's an open wound, like is there not like a chance of risk of infection there or infection to the baby? No. No risk. which is fine, but I don't know, I kind of felt like, I don't know. I just do have a lot of questions. We don't know what we're dealing with. He was happy to give like an option and like a solution to drain it during labour, which I just can't even imagine having to go through. But he was happy to do that before even looking at it. So what if another doctor decides that it can't be done and then he end up with an emergency caesarean? I've just got 1,000,001 questions going around in my head, guys. I don't know what to do for the best.
So your solution obviously was to come to the vlog and ask your IFAM. Yeah, all those 12-year-old girls who've had a life experience.
My main concerns about a caesarean are the recovery afterwards. I hate the thought of coming home and not being able to pick up Jason Mila and hug them. I hate the thought of like having, I don't even like the thought of having like a set date where I'm gonna deliver. Like, I love the spontaneousness of labour and the destined birthday for life. I don't like the thought, I know that's just so stupid and small and minor and irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, but having that like set date in advance, just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right.
All I'm hearing is me. I won't be able to hug Mila and Jace. I won't be able to do this. I don't want the baby to have a set birth date. I don't want to know the birth dates before it happens, etc, etc. This is all Sarah, me, Sarah, Sarah, me, Sarah, me, Sarah, me.
What do you want? Coat. There we go. I don't know. The main thing's the recovery. I'm scared of the recovery. It's unknown. She's got a stone in her shoe. But yeah, obviously there's the afterwards. There's just the recovery really that scares me a little bit about cesarean sections. But I am also just generally feeling a bit disappointed and a little bit gutted that my birth plan's not, I mean, and I know no birth plan's set in stone or anything like that, but I do have on my notes like the least intervention as possible. Like, I don't want to be examined all the time. I'd like a water birth, and I know none of those things are going to happen now.
Yeah, my heart bleeds for you, Sarah. My heart bleeds for you. There's so many people out there who can't have babies. So many people who have so many problems with their actual births through no fault of their own. And you're just sat there just moaning and moaning and moaning. Oh, I can't have my perfect birth. I can't have the water birth. I can't have the minimal intervention. My birth plan has gone to fuck. It's just... I get it that you want things to go smoothly, okay? We all do, right? But there's people out there with far, far worse issues when trying to conceive than you are, and you're very fortunate, very, very fortunate, and I think you need to understand that.
And it's either going to be a very closely monitored natural delivery, vaginal delivery, whatever you want to call it, with the risk of complications, or it's going to be like the worst. Not the worst, I didn't mean it like that, but I mean with the most intervention, with the caesarean section, if that's what I mean. Even though, like, my other worries as well is that I don't feel like, if I go with the vaginal delivery, I don't feel like I can even relax about that, because it still feels to me like it's going to be left uncertain. Like, I know they're saying, we'll just, like, he was like, no, take 2 minutes, we'll just drain during labour, take 2 minutes, it's fine. But like, the midwife afterwards was like, but have you not tried to have drainage before and it didn't work? Yeah. You know, is there definitely going to be somewhat, I feel like there's still, I'm going to have that pressure on my mind, you know, going into delivery, when I'm already panicking and I'm already feeling anxious and I'm already nervous and I'm already in a lot of pain. But then on top of that, I'm going to have this procedure hanging over me. Well, now I need to get through this procedure first and work out if it's even going to be safe and what if not. And I feel like going for the natural, spontaneous, just go into labour and just get it drained during labour, it's not as easy as it sounds. And it's leaving me still anxious. Like, it's not a definitive It's not a definitive thing, if that makes sense. It's not like we can just do this and we can 100% guarantee that it'll be fine and that's all you need to do. You know, there's still uncertainties there.
Well, unfortunately, there are uncertainties with every procedure medically. There's no guarantees with many things. So I don't think you can possibly hold this against the NHS or the doctors. The fact that they can't give you a guarantee, because so many things do come with ever so slight risks. Obviously, we hope that there is no risks or minimal risks.
Anyway, I'm probably doing everyone's heading with this. You probably know more about me now than even I know about me. Comment down below if you've got any advice. If you've had a cesarean before, comment down below what it was like. If you've had a cesarean and a vaginal delivery, comment down below and let me know which one was the best and easiest for you, even though I think I know the answer to that.
So you've come away from the medical professionals, you've had all the advice, you've had all the appointments, you've gone through this, that and the other, right, Sarah? In fact, you've been away, right? I haven't mentioned this, but you've been away for a long time and you've had this cyst, right? And it didn't occur to you to get this sorted out a bit sooner. Anyway, you've been away and you've done all these appointments, you've got all the medical advice, and then you brought it all to the vlog and you've asked your IFAM. IFAM, what shall I have? Shall I have a C-section or shall I have a vaginal birth, right? What's your opinions? Now, I feel like that's a little bit stupid. I'm just saying, Sarah, perhaps not ask, you know, all the kids in your comments or even adults in your comments. It's just weird. It's stupid. I mean, do you not have any friends, anyone that you can even ask for advice, just to talk to? But no, you're just talking through it with your IFAM through a lens, a camera lens. It's so sad. If it wasn't so sad, I'd laugh at you.
Or just what you do in this situation, because I am genuinely at a loss right now. I don't know. I'm going to try and speak to my midwife. I tried to speak to her today. They're not in until tomorrow. So I'm going to speak to them tomorrow, go over some concerns I've got, and then hopefully make a definitive decision over the next few days.
Okay, so you're going to have made the decision before this vlog comes out. So what was the point in talking all this through and then asking your IFAM for advice when you're not going to be able to take their advice because you'll have already made a decision? And rightly so, obviously. You need a decision quicker than the week you have to wait for this vlog to come out.
But right now, I'm not leaning towards either. Right now, I'm not leaning towards either one. It's like 50-50. I need to do a lot more research and I feel like I need to speak to someone else before I can decide that. But comment down below and let me know any advice at all, what you do, what you think, etc. I'm going to go have a cup of tea now and read this booklet thing that we've been given. I think it's just so scary, the unknown, you know. I've always had natural, easy-ish deliveries, and I don't know, going from that to a cesarean just freaks me out a bit. I don't know. Anyway, comment down below, guys, and let me know.
Well, you've got my advice, Sarah. You can't say that I didn't try. So, you know, burn it.
Just looking through the paperwork that I was given from today, I swear he said I'm a consultant.
He did say that.
We were under the impression we'd seen a well, maybe member of Con's team means that.
No, it doesn't. It means you're a junior doctor acting under a consultant.
Oh, bloody hell. He said that so convincingly, didn't he? So authoritatively. No, it doesn't. It means this. It absolutely does mean this. I know because I'm a doctor, or I've worked in a hospital. You know, I was a porter. I was a chief medical officer. Chris, crack me up.
He was not.
I thought we'd seen a consultant today, but looks like we didn't even see a consultant.
I knew he wasn't a consultant the way he was acting. There's no way. He was definitely not a consultant. But maybe because of his accent, he said, "I'm a member of the consultant's team," but he just didn't say the word team.
Yeah, maybe.
That sounded a bit racist, that did, Chris. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know the doctor. I don't know what nationality he was. But to say maybe it was his accent that, you know, you didn't understand. I don't know. I'm just getting racial vibes. Maybe it's all the things that I've read recently about you and all the things that you've put out that have been quite racially motivated. And that's another topic for another day, though.
Maybe we didn't understand it properly. But yeah, I thought we'd seen a consultant today. Turns out we didn't. We've seen someone else.
Yeah, sorry, after dinner clean-up, I'm going to go check on me babe. Okay, I got interrupted mid-flow with that last clip and had to go deal with some cleaning stuff. But I was trying to come up to say hi, how are you? Are you okay?
Yeah.
How are you doing, Dan?
I was on the phone to my nana. Bless her.
Oh, yeah.
So it was an interesting chat.
Yeah, we've had a lot of chats this afternoon about this whole scenario, the situation that Sarah's in right now. And we think we've got a solution-ish, right?
Well, I think the solution is I need a second opinion.
Yeah.
Because what I should have asked today...
Sarah's in her pyjamas, so I'm not going to put the... I'm not... I know you all love looking at me, obviously. Why wouldn't you?
No, I don't mind being filmed in my pyjamas.
Can I film you?
Let me just sit up. So I look a bit like a sloth right now, don't I?
Do you want to take the camera from me?
No, you can just turn it round.
Are you sure?
Just check my boobs away.
Okay.
Yeah, so I basically feel like I don't necessarily want a cesarean section, but I feel like there's too much uncertainty going forward with a spontaneous labour. Sorry.
Do you know how many clips I have to cut of you because you do this all the time at the minute?
I'm pregnant, I can't help it.
You need to help yourself. Just start again, because I'll cut it anyway. I'm not going to leave that in.
It's funny. Shush.
In what way is it funny, Sarah? It's bad manners, if one thing. You know, lack of manners probably runs in the family. Unfortunately, Chris is the only one with good manners in the family. You know, I mean, come on, if Chris is the benchmark for, you know, good manners, I don't know. I think I'm lost on you, Sarah. Lost.
So, what I need to ask is, if I was to go for a spontaneous labour, what would happen on the off chance that for some reason you can't do the mini procedure whilst I'm in labour? Whether that be because my labour's too quick, or there's nobody available to come down and do it straight away, or it doesn't drain. In any case scenario, will it still be okay to give birth without the procedure being done?
Which we didn't ask today.
Which we didn't ask today. But I feel like even if we'd have asked, I feel like he would have just been like, it's fine. Because every time I questioned anything about being able to do it, he did just keep saying, it's fine.
No, do the impression, because this is actually what he did.
Yeah, I am. He just went, it's fine.
Me literally legging it back upstairs after having run downstairs because the camera cut out because he ran out of memory. To come and change the memory card. Right, sorry babe. Where were we at? Oh, we got Sean on, yeah? This is our nighttime routine. She's on the sheet with the babies before they go to bed.
Right.
So good.
So there's a couple of options here that we've thought about. That's not just the black and white, either a cesarean or a procedure during labour.
So funny, I'm literally sat here zoning out to Sean the sheep.
Such a gimp.
She just called you a gimp, Chris.
So there's a few options we've got there.
Okay. Should we stop talking right now?
Yeah, we should.
It's been like a bit of a TMI video. So sorry about that. If anyone's... Oh no, I'm sorry about that.
But you know what, right? I feel like I keep saying I'm not talking about it no more, and then I keep talking about it. But it's what's relevant in our life right now. It's what we're going through, and our vlogs have never been anything other than just our general life. It's just what we're doing at the time is what we'll film.
Exactly, Sarah, exactly. Why do you think your views are tanking right now? Because you're filming your daily lives. And your daily lives are pretty bloody boring. Really, honestly. I mean, the reason you got famous, shall we say famous a little bit, was because you got very lucky. You filmed your kids in the least possible clothing, drew in a lot of people that way. You filmed your kids crying on Christmas morning, and you got lucky with one viral video in that sense. And now it's not working. Nothing's working for you. You're even trying to bring like medical attention on yourself, and that's not even working. People are still not interested. What more is there to try, I wonder? So exciting waiting for these to fail. And
so sometimes that means filming stuff like this, and I couldn't not tell you guys about this. and then need a cesarean, and then you're like, well, why she had a cesarean? And then you all half of you come up with your own opinions on why I've needed a cesarean.
It's best to just be real
I'd
and
rather
honest,
just be
right?
real and transparent so that you guys know where I'm at. If I end up having a cesarean or an induction or anything happens during labour or anything, everyone knows why. This is the reason, and I've already explained, because when I've given birth or I've gone through it all, I might not be in a position to be able to want to even chat about it.
Yeah, and also there's probably other people that are going through this the same.
Exactly.
So hopefully there isn't.
So that's why I've been talking about it the last couple of days, and it's not going to be like in the vlogs now forever for the foreseeable future. I've kept you guys all up to date. I'll probably let you guys know if we get a second opinion on when that is. Are you taking the absolute?
No, I'm watching on the sheet.
And I'll obviously keep you posted, but I also want advice as well. Like, I want the advice. I feel like I need advice from people who've had cesareans. How bad?
It's really going.
How bad is it after delivery and things like that? What would you do?
Well, Sarah, as I mentioned before, the problem really is that because you're so far behind in your vlogs, there's no point asking for advice anymore because there's no longer real time, and any advice is redundant because you've already taken forward what you need to take forward, and advice is no longer required.
You know, I also want advice, so...
I think my coffee's going cold as well.
I know.
Can you shut up then?
You proper grind on me sometimes, and tonight's one of those nights.
Peace and love.
I can imagine Chris grinding on you quite often, Sarah. Isn't that how you got pregnant in the feed? Well, not exactly, yeah. But yeah, I have in my head now images of you and Chris, you know. so it's late, I can't anymore.
From all of us here, guys, thank you so much for watching. Just remember that time when I went to the airport and that guy came up to me, he was drunk and he was getting on a flight and he went, I'm going to Ibiza. And I was like, no, you're not, you're offloaded, mate.
You offloaded him, that's
Get
so
off.
tight.
Chris
offloaded a guy going
he literally spat in my face. No, he spat in my face.
No, he's called you a name, didn't he, actually? When
Yeah,
you said calm down. No, he did go up to Chris and do that.
Ibiza! Right in my face.
And
Like,
then
literally
Chris went,
spat all
chill
over
out,
me.
mate. Chris went, chill out, mate. We've got families on here or something like that. And he went, oh, what did he call you? He told you to shut up, F off, didn't he? And then called you a name. Did he call you an emo or something?
Yeah, an emo, yeah. Call me,
but not in a nice way, like a
F
real...
off, you dirty emo.
Yeah.
Sarah, this person didn't say emo in a nice way. He didn't call Chris an emo in a nice way. How often do you hear people calling other people emos in a nice way? Oi, emo, come here. Yeah, lovely emo. No, it's generally used as a derogatory term. You know, when you're calling out someone for being an emo, nobody says it lovingly. I'm sorry, but they don't.
So Chris offloaded him?
So I kicked his ass off the plane, and then he cried. Then he cried and begged
That's tight.
for me to let him back on, but no, it's too late. No, did I? Because it's too late.
You're so tight.
Too late. Once you're off, you're off. That's how it works at an airport. You're not allowed to let him back on, so it's not like
the bags come off and things like that.
But if I could have let him back on, I wouldn't let that guy back on because he deserved to not go on his holidays that day.
Chris, the airport security guard extraordinaire now. Since when were baggage handlers able to kick people off planes? You know, they get multitasking, Chris. That's what I like. Love it. Multitasking. You kicking people off planes, driving the planes, doing all sorts with the planes, you know. It's I'd have loved to have known you back then. I reckon you would have been a cool dude, an emo dude, if you like.
That is tough. I miss that job so much.
Right.
Anyway,
stop talking.
Yeah,
You're boring.
Okay, bye. Love you all. Who remembers the days when I used to work at the airport and I used to make these videos? We used to include video clips from the airport. So cool.
I do, Chris, I do. Except for I remember it slightly differently to you, obviously. You used to work at the airport all day, but Sarah was the one who was in charge of the vlogging and the editing as well. So as much as you want to believe it was all you, it really wasn't. I'm sorry. Sarah was in charge of the pimping out of the kids at the time. Anyway, Right, so there we come to the end of another vlog. That was a mammoth one, wasn't it? Sarah just rambled on and on and on and on. But interesting information. I wonder what she'll do. Will she have a C-section or will she get it burnt off? Now, what I'd like you guys to do is, to show you've been listening, comment down below your suggestions about what Sarah's rare disease should be called. We need to give it a name, I feel. A name would be good, then we can recognise it for future generations, and that would be good. Sarah will have brought some good to the world. So, let me know your suggestions down below. Thank you very much. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a massive thumbs up, comment all your thoughts down below as usual, and subscribe to the channel if you are brand new. And until next time, take care of yourselves and bye bye.